I kept telling myself I was fine while I fixed my collar, but my hands shook anyway. "It's just her birthday," I whispered, trying to calm the tight feeling in my chest. I loved Emma, and I wanted tonight to matter, yet I already felt like I was walking into something I couldn't name. When my phone buzzed with her short message, "Hurry," I grabbed the small gift box and forced a breath. I kept thinking, if I just showed up with a smile, maybe she would finally look at me the way she used to for the first time again tonight. I stepped into the venue and heard music pounding harder than my heartbeat. Lily waved at me from the side and said, "You look tense already." I tried to laugh, but it came out thin. "Just nervous," I told her. She nudged my arm and whispered, "Go find Emma before she thinks you bailed." I walked deeper inside, but the moment I saw Emma avoiding my eyes, something inside me tightened. I said, "Hey, happy birthday," hoping she would smile. Instead, she said, "Oh." You made it like she hadn't expected me to care enough to show up tonight. "Really?" I tried to steady myself and asked, "Are you okay?" She brushed past me and said, "I'm just busy." I followed her with my eyes, wondering why she sounded annoyed. When Adrian walked over with that smug grin, my stomach dropped. "Didn't expect to see you here," he said. I answered, "Emma said you wouldn't come." Emma cut in, "It's a party. Anyone can show." I whispered, "You promised." She shot me a warning look and muttered, "Don't start." Lily stepped beside me and whispered, "Something's off tonight." I nodded but couldn't shake the sense that something worse was coming. I tried to stay close, hoping she'd talk to me, but she kept drifting toward her friends. I approached her again and asked, "Did I do something?" She sighed loudly and said, "You're being dramatic." Her friends looked at each other and giggled. One whispered, "He's cute when he panics." Emma laughed and added, "He's always like this." So soft, the word hit me like a slap. I said quietly, "Why would you say that?" She shrugged and replied, "Relax. It's a joke." Adrian leaned in and said, "See? He can't even take a little teasing." Everyone around us watched. "I'm not upset," I whispered, though my chest felt tight. Emma rolled her eyes and said, "You always make things weird." I answered, "I just want to understand." She turned to the crowd and announced, "Look, he's doing that serious face again." And I felt heat rise in my cheeks. I said, "Please stop." She smirked and replied, "Oh my God, he's about to cry." More laughter echoed around me, sharp and cold. Lily stepped forward and said, "Emma, that's enough." Emma snapped, "Stay out of it." I looked at the floor, wishing my voice would return. I tried to speak, but nothing came out. My throat felt locked, as if every sound had been crushed by the laughter around me. Adrian leaned toward Emma again and said, "Told you, he can't handle anything." She didn't defend me. She didn't even look guilty. She just laughed with him like I wasn't standing right there. I whispered, "Why are you doing this to me?" But my voice was so soft, no one heard. The room felt smaller with every second, and I realized no one there cared how much it hurt. Not even the girl I loved tonight. I backed away from the group, hoping someone would call after me, but no one did. I heard Emma laughing again, louder this time, like she wanted me to hear. Lily reached for me and whispered, "Don't let this break you," said it already did. She frowned and said, "She's being cruel. You don't have to stay." I shook my head and answered, "I can't breathe in there." Lily nodded slowly and said, "Then go." I whispered, "Thank you," and pushed through the exit doors. Letting the cold night air hit my burning face as I stepped away, I stood outside, gripping the railing, trying to steady my breathing. The music inside still pulsed through the walls, mocking me with every beat. I whispered to myself, why wasn't I enough? But the night didn't answer. Lily cracked the door open and whispered, "She didn't even notice you left." I felt something inside me sink even deeper. "That figures," I said. She stepped closer and added, "You deserve better." I nodded but didn't trust my voice. I said I just wanted her to care. Lily answered, "She doesn't know how." I closed my eyes and let the cold quiet. The noise of the party felt distant, the moment Emma started laughing at me again. I stood there holding a paper cup, pretending I didn't hear her, but her voice carried across the room like she wanted everyone to listen. Come on, Emma said, laughing as she nudged Jenna. You should have seen him last week. He told me he wants to leave his job one day and become a writer. Isn't that adorable? Jenna giggled. A writer? Really? I swallowed hard. I just said it's something I think about. Emma raised her voice. You think about a lot of things, babe. You never actually do them. People nearby chuckled. My grip tightened around the cup. Emma, that's not. I tried to speak, but she cut me off. It's fine, she said, waving a hand dismissively. He's just sensitive. He depends on me for literally everything. More laughter. I felt my stomach twist. Can you not say it like that? I whispered. Emma smirked. Oh, relax. It's a joke. Lucas walked over with a confused look. Hey man, you okay? I'm fine, I muttered, though my voice cracked. Emma overheard him. He's always fine. That's like his catchphrase. You ask him anything, and he hides behind that shy little smile. Jenna laughed again. Shy is cute, though. Emma shot her a grin. Yeah, but not when it turns into total emotional dependence. You have no idea. Heat surged to my face. Emma, stop. Oh, he's speaking? She teased loudly. Everyone, look, he's actually saying something. A few people looked over just to laugh. Lucas stepped between us. All right, that's enough. Emma rolled her eyes dramatically. Oh, Lucas, don't be so serious. It's harmless. I stared at her. Why are you doing this? She shrugged. Because you take things too seriously, and you make it too easy. Her words hit harder than I expected. I didn't know I was. Some joke to you, Emma scoffed. You're being dramatic. A sharp sting spread through my chest, but I forced myself to breathe. I just want you to respect me. Respect? She repeated with a mocking laugh. Lucas, you hear this? He wants respect. Lucas frowned. Emma, you're crossing a line. He's used to it. I stared at the floor, unsure if the carpet was moving or if I was swaying. My heart felt too loud in my ears. Emma, I whispered, why are you talking like this tonight? She shrugged. Maybe because you cling to me all the time. Maybe because you never speak up unless I push you. Maybe because I'm tired of pretending you're something you're not. My throat tightened. And what am I not? A real man? A voice said behind me. Adrian, I froze. Emma didn't deny him. She didn't even flinch. She just sipped her drink. I barely recognized my own voice when I asked, That's what you think? Emma shrugged again. I don't know, maybe. Adrian laughed under his breath. She can do better. I stepped back, my pulse crashing against my ribs. I didn't ask you, he smirked. You didn't have to. I turned to Emma. Is that why you've been acting like this? Because of him? Emma sighed loudly like I was exhausting her. God, don't make it weird. Lucas grabbed my shoulder gently. Man, let's step outside. But I shook my head. No, I just want to know why. Emma leaned against the counter. Look, we're at a party. Can you not do this here? You're the one humiliating me, I said, though my voice felt thin. Emma burst out laughing again. Humiliating? Babe, it's light teasing. Doesn't feel light, I whispered. Well, maybe that's your problem, she shot back. Everything feels heavy to you. It cut deeper than any insult. I felt something inside me splinter. I loved you, I said, before I could stop myself. Emma rolled her eyes. Please, don't start with that. Jenna shifted uncomfortably. Lucas looked like he wanted to punch Adrian. Someone turned the music louder to cover the tension, but nothing could drown out the ringing in my ears. I mumbled. I need air. Emma barely glanced at me. Take your sensitivity outside then, Lucas called out. I'll go with you. Shook my head again. No, I'm fine. The word tasted bitter as I walked toward the exit. I heard Adrian whisper something like, told you, followed by Emma's soft laughs, but sharp enough to carve through my chest. The door clicked shut behind me. Cold air hit my face, but it didn't steady me. My thoughts churned in circles, confusion, anger, self-blame, something close to grief. How did I become her joke? I whispered to no one. I stared at the streetlights, trying to understand where things went wrong. Why the person I loved found it so easy to tear me apart. I didn't stay to find answers. I just walked into the night, wondering if something inside me had finally cracked for good. I sat on my couch replaying last night until my head throbbed. My apartment felt too quiet, like the silence wanted answers I didn't have. Maybe I exaggerated, I muttered, rubbing my face. Maybe Emma was just drunk. But even saying it felt like lying to myself. Her laughter still echoed in my chest. My phone buzzed. I expected Lucas checking in. Instead, it was Lily. If you still care about yourself, check Emma's phone, her message read. I stared at it for a full minute. What does that even mean? I whispered. I typed back, Lily, what are you talking about? But she didn't respond. I tried to calm myself. She wouldn't hide anything. She wouldn't. My own voice cut me off. I didn't believe it. I felt my stomach twist as the front door opened and Emma walked in like nothing had happened. Hey, she said casually, dropping her bag on the table. Hey, I replied. Though my chest tightened, she didn't look at me. We still doing dinner? Or are you in one of your moods? I swallowed. Emma, can we talk about last night? She sighed. God, are we really doing this? I told you it was a joke. It didn't feel like one. Then that's on you, she said, brushing past me toward the bathroom. I need a shower. We'll talk after. We never talk after, I whispered. She didn't answer. Water started running. I sat there, hands shaking. Lily's message replayed in my mind. Check her phone. Why would she say that unless a vibration broke my thoughts? Emma's phone buzzed on the table. I froze. Don't, I told myself. That's not who I am. But Lily's words clawed at me. My heartbeat hammered. The phone buzzed again, against every instinct. I reached for it. The screen lit up with Adrian's name. My breath left my body. I opened the notification. The first message read, Did he cry again? Followed by, Tonight was perfect. He looked pathetic. I felt my chest burn. My fingers trembled as I, led Emma had replied earlier. He always does. I don't know why I ever dated someone that weak. Another message from Adrian. You deserve better? Emma's last reply. Maybe. My vision blurred. Maybe. That single word shattered me. I kept scrolling even though each line felt like a blade. Adrian, we should meet again. Emma, after tonight. Definitely. I clenched the phone so hard, my knuckles whitened. She planned it, I whispered. They planned everything. I scrolled further. Adrian, let's push him a little. Emma, he'll take anything. Adrian, that's the problem. Emma, maybe. I felt a sting behind my eyes. But it wasn't sadness this time. It was something darker, heavier. A whisper inside me said enough. The shower turned off. I stared at the bathroom door, gripping her phone. I didn't know if I should confront her or throw the phone. My breathing grew uneven. I forced my hands to unclench. When Emma stepped out, she looked at me holding her phone. What are you doing? I met her eyes with a steadiness I didn't recognize. Reading the truth? She froze. Put it down, why? I asked. So I can go back to being your joke? She wrapped a towel around herself. You had no right, and you had no right to humiliate me. Or to plan it, she scowled. Don't be dramatic. Stop saying that, I snapped. I saw everything. Emma stepped closer. You're being ridiculous. Mocking me? Planning how far he could push me? Getting you back? She looked away. That silence answered more than her words. My chest tightened, but not from sadness. Something stronger rose through me, a quiet fury I'd never felt before. How long? I asked. Emma didn't speak. How long? I repeated. Finally, she muttered. It wasn't serious. It was enough, I whispered. The phone buzzed again in my hand. Adrian, tell me how he reacted. I locked the screen. I'm done folding, Emma scoffed. Oh, please. But I felt it something shifting inside me. For once, it wasn't pain swallowing me. It was anger, cold and powerful. I sat back on the couch, feeling the weight of everything pressing on my lungs. My thoughts spun in circles, each one sharper than the last. What was I to her? I whispered. A placeholder? A toy? The questions dug into me relentless. I felt something inside me shifting, forming into a resolve I didn't recognize but couldn't ignore. It stayed. I woke up expecting the usual weight in my chest, but instead, I felt a strange calm. When Emma walked into the kitchen and said, "Morning," I just nodded. She kept talking like nothing had happened, and I let her fill the room with noise. When she asked, "You're quiet today? Something wrong?" I answered, "No." That single word felt like a shield. She frowned, but I didn't explain. I just sipped my coffee and watched her pretend. Every lie she spoke settled into me like cold dust, but I stayed still, and she mistook it for surrender. At work, Ava noticed immediately. She leaned on the edge of my desk and asked, "Rough morning?" I shrugged. She lowered her voice. "Do you want to talk?" I whispered, "Not here." During lunch, she sat across from me and said, "You don't look okay. Tell me what's going on." I hesitated, then said, "I'm just tired of pretending everything's fine." She nodded slowly. "You don't have to pretend with me." Something in her tone made my chest loosen. I said, "Thank you," she replied. "Just don't shut down alone." Her concern felt unfamiliar but grounding. Later, when I met Lucas at the gym, he tossed me a towel and said, "You look like you want to punch something." I replied, "Maybe I do." As we warmed up, he asked, "Did you talk to Emma yet?" I shook my head. "No, she keeps acting like nothing happened." He exhaled. "And you?" I said, "I'm done talking first." He nodded. "Good. She needs to feel the silence." I laughed dryly. "She thinks it means she won." Lucas slapped my shoulder. "Or maybe it means you're finally choosing yourself." His words echoed through every rep. When I got home, Emma was on the couch. "You didn't answer my texts," she said sharply. I replied, "I was busy."
Oh.
"Too busy for me." I said, "Sometimes." She stood up. "You're acting weird." "Are you mad at me?" I let the silence stretch until she shifted uncomfortably. Then I said, "Why do I have to be mad to be quiet?" She crossed her arms. "Because you're never like this," I replied. "Maybe I should have been." She blinked, confused. "What's that supposed to mean?" I simply said, "I'm thinking." It was the truth, and it terrified her. In the shower later, I whispered to myself, how did I let it get this far? My voice bounced off the tiles. I remembered the early days when she said, "I love how open you are," and how slowly that changed into, "Why do you need anyone else?" I whispered I stayed because I was scared. The water washed the confession away, but the truth stayed. When I stepped out, she was waiting. "Can we talk?" she asked. I answered, "Not tonight." She frowned. "You're avoiding me," I said. "Or I'm finally listening to myself." She didn't like that. The next day at work, Ava asked, "Are things any clearer today?" I sighed, clearer than before. She leaned closer. "Did you finally say what you needed to?" I shook my head. "No, I don't need to explain myself anymore." She gave me a small smile. "That's growth," I chuckled. "Feels more like survival," she said. "Sometimes they're the same thing." Her words settled in me like steady ground. I told her, "I'm planning something." She asked, "Good or dangerous?" I replied, "Necessary." She didn't push. Instead, she whispered, "Whatever you choose, don't choose from fear." I nodded slowly. That evening, I sat on the edge of the bed while Emma scrolled on her phone. She didn't notice me watching her, not really. She only noticed when she felt ignored. "You're quiet again," she said. I answered, "I know." She asked, "Are you going to tell me why?" I shook my head. "Not tonight," she groaned. "You're being dramatic." I said, "Maybe I'm finally being honest." She looked up, then confused and irritated. "About what?" I whispered, "About what I want." She laughed nervously. "And what's that?" I stood slowly and said, "Freedom." Her face tightened, but I felt calm. In that moment, my silence became the start of leaving. "You said..." The phone buzzed with a message from Lily. "Check the news. Adrian's been cheating. Emma doesn't know yet." I froze. My stomach twisted, a mixture of vindication and disbelief. I read it again. I wasn't sure if I should laugh or cry. Part of me wanted to run to Emma. Part of me wanted to lock the door and never see her again. Later that evening, the doorbell rang. I opened it to find Emma, mascara running, hair disheveled. He betrayed me. She sobbed immediately, rushing in. I stepped aside. Okay? My voice was flat, calm. She collapsed onto the couch. Can you believe it? All those times I defended him. All the promises. Her hands trembled as she wiped her eyes. I thought he loved me. I guess he didn't, I said softly. I didn't move closer. I didn't offer a shoulder. I just listened. Emma sniffled. You're not angry at me for defending him. I'm not. Her head shot up. You're not? No, my gaze stayed steady. I'm not here to be angry. But you always comfort me, she said, voice trembling. You've always been here. I shook my head slightly. I'm here, but not in the way you expect. Her eyes filled with confusion. What do you mean? I mean, I'm not the person I was. Emma's bottom lip quivered. Are you? Mad at me? No, she leaned back, curling into herself. Then why aren't you comforting me? You've always been there. Die. I am listening, I said. That's all. Her hands twisted in her lap. Do you still love me? Her voice was barely above a whisper, fragile and desperate. I took a slow breath. I don't recognize you anymore. The words hung in the air. She blinked. You don't? I don't, I repeated. The person I loved. She isn't here. Tears fell faster now. But I'm the same. I still love you. I know who you were, I said gently. In who you are now, I don't recognize you. Emma's knees shook. She covered her face with her hands, sobbing uncontrollably. I thought you'd always be there. You'd never leave. I remained still, letting her cry. It wasn't cruelty. It was clarity. I didn't feel guilt. I didn't feel the old pull that had always made me bend, break, or apologize. Why are you so cold? She whispered between sobs. I'm not cold, I said. I'm finally honest, and I'm finally listening to myself. She sniffled, looking at me through tear-streaked cheeks. I don't know what to do without you. I'm not gone, I said softly. But I'm not staying to be a backup anymore. I'm here, but I'm here for me first. Her chest heaved. You mean that? I do. Emma sank back against the couch, eyes wide, shaking. All those times, I humiliated you. I made jokes. Her voice cracked. I thought you'd never leave me. I almost didn't, I admitted quietly. But I can't be that person anymore. A long silence filled the room. Her sobs slowed, turning into shaky breaths. I didn't move. I didn't reach out. I didn't try to convince her. Finally, she whispered, You're really done? I'm done pretending, I said. I'm done being someone who's not me for you. That's all. Her hands trembled as she tried to steady herself. I wanted to be better. I didn't know how to keep you. I know, I said. And it's not about being better. It's about recognizing who you are and who I am. We've stopped matching. She closed her eyes, letting out a long, shuddering breath. I understand. I nodded once. Good. For the first time in days, maybe weeks, I felt light. The pressure in my chest, the constant ache of bending, of pretending, started to lift. I realized freedom doesn't always roar it. Sometimes creeps in quietly while someone else crumbles. Emma slumped on the couch, exhausted from crying, while I sat across from her, calm, silent, steady. I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel panic. I felt free. Slow, gradual, but definite. The night stretched on. I watched her, listening to her whimpers, and for the first time I realized that my silence wasn't emptiness. It was strength. It was mine. And finally, I didn't have to carry anyone else's mistakes anymore. The moment she showed up at my door, I knew this wasn't going to be easy. Emma's eyes were red, her hands shaking. Please, please, can we fix this? She begged, voice trembling. I let the door stay open a little wider and leaned against the frame. Fix what? I asked calmly. Her lower lip quivered. Us. What happened? The messages. Everything. I didn't mean you didn't mean what? I interrupted, my voice steady. I saw the messages, Emma. Her body froze. You what? I read your phone, I said simply. Everything. Adrian, the mocking, the planning, the lies. All of it. Her shoulders sagged, panic flooding her face. It wasn't real. I was stressed. Everyone was. Peer pressure. It's not what you think. I didn't flinch. I didn't shout. I just looked at her, quiet, letting my gaze sink in. It is exactly what I think. She reached out, voice cracking. Please, I'll do anything. I'll stop. I'll change. I can be better. I shook my head slowly. It's not about being better, Emma. It's about what you enjoy. You enjoy my pain. You enjoy control. And that broke something inside me that can't be repaired. Her eyes widened. I didn't mean to hurt you. I love you. You love what I give you, not who I am, I said. I can't love someone who takes joy in my humiliation. She stepped closer, tears spilling down her cheeks. You're overreacting. I was under pressure. I didn't know how much it hurt you. I stayed calm, letting each word sink in. It hurt more than you realize. You don't get to pretend otherwise. She tried to hug me. Please, I can fix it. I stepped back, hands raised, firm but gentle. No, Emma, not this time. Her body went rigid. You can't just walk away, I'm begging you. Please. I'm not walking away because I'm angry, I said. I'm walking away because I finally see who you are, and I choose me. For the first time, I choose myself. She shook her head, screaming, No, you don't understand. You can't leave me. I breathed slowly, keeping my voice even. I understand perfectly. I understand that staying would mean losing myself completely. I can't do that anymore. I can't give you my heart only to have it shattered repeatedly. Her sobs grew louder, each one a knife through the room. I don't know what to do. I love you. I need you. I knelt down slightly to meet her eyes. I know, but love isn't supposed to break you. You've made it your weapon, Emma, and I won't be your target any longer. Her hand shook as she reached for me again. Please, please don't leave. I shook my head gently. I have to. Her voice became desperate, trembling. I'll change. I'll do anything. You can't leave. I took a deep breath and said softly, This isn't about punishment. This is about survival. I can't survive in a place where love is just a game to hurt me. I won't survive if I stay. Emma dropped to the floor, crying, shaking. I can't. I'll die without you. You'll survive, I said firmly. You'll have to. Just like I will. She screamed my name over and over, clawing at the air, at the walls, as if trying to trap me with her grief. I didn't step back into her world. I didn't engage in arguments or pleas. I simply stood, silent, resolute. Finally, I turned toward the door. She scrambled after me, voice hoarse. Please, don't leave me. I need you. I'll do anything. I didn't answer. I walked out, keeping my pace steady. Each step away felt like a weight being lifted, chains snapping off my chest. I could hear her cries behind me, but I didn't turn. I didn't stop. The hallway felt longer than usual, but every step brought clarity. I realized just how long I'd carried her chaos inside me, how much I'd let her control my life with fear and shame. I reached the front door, turned the handle, and stepped outside. The cool evening air hit my face, sharp and refreshing. I inhaled deeply. Freedom tasted like this, like a breath I hadn't taken in years. Her voice followed me through the door. Broken and pleading, but it didn't reach me. It couldn't. Not anymore. I walked down the steps. Each footfall lighter than the last, feeling the weight of years lift from my shoulders. I realized I wasn't just leaving her house, I was leaving the part of myself that allowed her to hurt me. For the first time in years, I didn't feel guilt. I didn't feel panic. I didn't feel fear. I felt alive, the night air wrapped around me, and I finally understood what it meant to choose myself, to protect myself, to survive not for anyone else, but for me. And as I walked away, leaving the chaos behind, I felt the heavy chains around my heart fall away, piece by piece. I was free. Weeks passed, and I found a rhythm I hadn't known in years. Work became my anchor. Each morning, I woke up without dread. I drank my coffee slowly, listened to music, and walked to the office with steady steps. People noticed. Mark, our team leader, even commented, "You seem lighter, more focused."
I smiled.
"Yeah, feels good." Ava noticed too. She leaned against my desk one afternoon and said, "You're smiling more." "I guess I am," I replied, tapping my fingers on the keyboard. "You seem different," she said. "Confident, calm." "It suits you," I shrugged. "I'm learning to take care of myself first." Her eyes softened. "That's good. You deserve that." We laughed together for the first time in months. Small, quiet laughs that grew into something warm. She didn't pry, didn't judge, just let me exist. I realized how rare that was, and how much I'd needed it. Even Lucas noticed when I joined him at the gym. "You're lighter," he said, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Different. Happier." "I'm figuring things out," I said. "Good. You deserve it," he replied. At work, I focused on projects with renewed energy. Mark approached me one day. "I want to give you the lead on this project. You're ready for it." I blinked. "Really?" "Absolutely. You've changed. People notice." I nodded slowly. "Thank you. I won't disappoint." Outside of work, I kept routines that reminded me who I was without Emma. I walked through the park, played guitar again, even tried cooking meals I actually liked. Every small victory reminded me that life could be mine, unshaped by someone else's whims. Then came the messages, Emma. I saw them pop up over and over. "I'm sorry, I was wrong. Please, can we talk?" I didn't answer. Not once. One night, Ava noticed my phone buzzing. "Someone you care about?" she asked casually. I shook my head. "Not anymore. Someone I used to." Sometimes letting go is the hardest but strongest choice. I agreed silently. She didn't push, didn't ask questions I wasn't ready to answer. I learned about her struggles through mutual friends and whispers at work. Adrian had abandoned her. Her friends criticized her. People saw her actions for what they were. I felt no satisfaction, just clarity. The weight of her choices had finally landed on her, while I remained untangled, free. I thought about forgiveness. Could I forgive her? Maybe someday. But I also thought about self-respect. I had regained mine. Every message I ignored, every thought I focused on myself, reinforced it. One evening, I walked past the gym with Lucas. He nudged me. "You're smiling again, man. Really smiling. Feels like myself," I said. "You should keep that," he said, slapping my back. I nodded. Inside, I felt something shift. It wasn't just freedom from MIE. It was freedom from fear, from doubt, from being someone I wasn't. I remembered how long I had let her define me. Now, I defined myself. At work, Mark called me into his office. "Projects ahead of schedule. Clients are happy. Your team respects you." I smiled quietly. "Thanks. I've learned to listen. And to trust myself." "You're a leader now, not just a worker," he said. I nodded. The pride I felt wasn't arrogance. It was survival, growth, and reclamation of who I was. At home that evening, I picked up my guitar, strummed a few notes, and laughed at the offbeat chords. Ava texted a meme, and I replied with one of my own. I felt light, untethered, as though I'd shed months of weight. Emma's messages came again that night. I didn't reply. I read them once, then deleted them. The old me would have replied, the new me didn't need to. I thought about all the nights I cried, all the nights I stayed awake, replaying humiliation, betrayal, and lies. I realized those nights had shaped me, yes, but they hadn't broken me. I had grown stronger, steadier, and more alive. For the first time in years, I felt pride not for revenge, not for anger, but for myself. I was alive. I was free, and I had built someone worth being, someone I respected. I smiled, knowing that, while she struggled, I thrived. I had become the person I was meant to be, without her, and for the first time, it felt enough. I saw her before she saw me, sitting at the corner table of the cafe near work. Emma looked small, broken, hair messy, eyes red. My chest tightened for a moment. But I reminded myself, I wasn't the same person anymore. She spotted me and hesitated, then stood slowly, hands twisting. Hi, can we talk? I nodded and gestured to the seat across from me. Sure. She sat down, staring at the table. I've been wanting to say this for a long time. I'm sorry. I'm listening, I said quietly. Keeping my tone calm. I know I destroyed something beautiful, she said, voice trembling. I humiliated you. I lied. I let Adrian. I let everything happen while you cared so much. And I took it for granted. I didn't see what I had until it was almost gone. I stayed silent, letting her words sink. She took a shaky breath. I'm asking for another chance. Please, I'll do anything. I can't lose you. I looked at her carefully, the old me rising in memory, ready to plead, to forgive. But I pushed that aside. This was the new me. Calm, steady, aware of my worth. Emma, I said softly, I don't hate you. I don't wish you harm. Her eyes flicked up, hopeful. Then you'll take me back? I shook my head gently. No. I can't return to a place that broke me so deeply. The person I was when I stayed. That person isn't here anymore. Her face fell. You're really done. I am, I said firmly, but kindly. I've learned to protect myself. I've learned that silence, distance, and boundaries aren't weakness, they're strength. She swallowed hard, tears spilling down her cheeks. I thought we could fix it. I know, I said, and I hope you learn from it, truly. But I won't be part of your lessons anymore. Her hands shook on the table. Do you still care about me? I care, I admitted. But caring isn't enough. Love isn't supposed to hurt this much. It isn't supposed to be a weapon. I won't be part of something that only destroys me. She cried silently for a moment, then whispered, I ruined everything. You made mistakes, I said, and now you see them. That's important. But I can't walk back into pain I've already survived. I'm walking toward something better, not backward into what was. Her voice cracked. I'm begging you. You can't beg me into this, I said, voice soft but firm. I need myself more than I need this, more than I need anyone who would take my heart for granted. I finally know my worth, Emma, and I won't trade it again. She covered her face with her hands, sobbing. I don't know how to live without you. You'll learn, I said gently. You have to. But I won't be there to prop you up anymore. She looked up, eyes red and wet, searching mine for some flicker of the old me. You'll never forgive me? I forgive you, I said. I can't go back. Forgiveness doesn't mean return. It means release. And I release both of us. Her shoulders sagged. I don't understand how you can be so calm. I destroyed you. I shook my head slowly. I rebuilt myself. And rebuilding takes calm, focus, and distance. I can't carry the weight of what you did anymore. I'm strong now, and I need to keep it that way, she whispered. I'll never find someone like you again. I hope you do, I said quietly. But it won't be me. I hope you find someone who brings out the best in you without breaking themselves. Her tears continued, but I felt no guilt. I didn't feel fear. I didn't feel regret. I felt complete. I stood up, straightened my jacket, and smiled softly. "Goodbye, Emma." Her voice broke. "Please, don't go." I took a step toward the door, then another. "I'm not running from pain," I said over my shoulder. "I'm walking toward a better version of myself." I opened the door, stepped outside, and let the cool air hit my face. I walked down the street with calm, deliberate steps, feeling the heaviness that once pressed on my chest lift with each one. Her cries faded behind me, and for the first time in years, I felt a lightness I didn't know existed. Not because she suffered, not because I had won it, was because I finally chose me. I didn't look back. I didn't hesitate. I walked, feeling whole, free, and alive for the first time in a very long time. And as the cafe disappeared behind me, I understood fully this was not the end of the story. It was the beginning of everything I deserved. The mornings are quieter now. I wake up, drink my coffee slowly, and let the sunlight fill the apartment. No one interrupts my thoughts. No one's voice cuts through my calm. Ava texts me, sometimes funny memes, work jokes, but nothing heavy. She knows I'm rebuilding, not rushing anything. At the office, Lucas nudges me. "You're in a good mood today." "I am," I say, stretching. "Feels normal." "Normal's good," he replies. "Better than normal." I laugh. Better than normal is exactly what I'm aiming for. Ava joins me for lunch. "You seem lighter," she says, eyes soft. "Like the weight you carried is gone." "I think it is," I reply. "I finally chose myself." "That's enough for now." She smiles, but it's quiet. "You've grown a lot," slowly I admit. "It took a while to stop defining myself by someone else's actions, by someone who didn't value me. But I'm getting there." The truth is, walking away from Emma wasn't revenge. I don't think about her humiliation or her apologies anymore. That chapter is closed. Walking away was survival. Pure, simple survival. I can't go back, and I won't. People notice the change. Mark pulled me aside yesterday. "Your team respects you. You handle pressure differently now. You're calm, decisive." I nod. "I've learned to focus on what I control: my actions, my reactions, my peace." He smiles. "Good. Keep it up." On the way home, I passed the cafe where Emma once cornered me with apologies. It's empty, quiet. A memory drifts, but I don't linger. I've learned that remembering isn't the same as carrying. Ava texts, "Coffee tomorrow." I type back, "Sure, morning." She replies with a laughing emoji. Small connections like this remind me that life is still warm, still full of laughter. I scroll through old messages once, out of habit, and stop at hers. They've stopped. No apologies, no pleas, no guilt. And strangely, I feel peaceful, free. Closure doesn't always come from confrontation. It comes from stepping away, from choosing yourself and refusing to return to pain. I remember the nights I cried alone, the times I questioned my worth, the humiliation that once seemed unbearable. And I see now that each of those moments shaped me, not into someone broken, but someone stronger. Someone who values themselves enough to leave what harms them. Walking away doesn't mean I'm cold or unforgiving. It means I finally understand that my life, my choices, and my heart are mine. I can't hand them to someone who repeatedly breaks trust or joy. Ava texts again, "You okay?" I type better than okay. "I'm learning to live for myself." "Good," she replies. That's all anyone can ask for. I lean back in my chair, letting the quiet settle around me. I've rebuilt routines, found laughter, reclaimed my energy. I even notice small things. My favorite songs make me smile again. Coffee tastes richer. Work feels like progress instead of obligation. I realize that the life waiting for me isn't about forgetting the past. It's about embracing my choices, my freedom, and my peace. I am no longer defined by betrayal or humiliation. I am defined by the strength it took to walk away. And that strength, that choice, feels like the first time I truly belong to myself. I've survived. I've healed. I've reclaimed my life. And for the first time, I know that choosing myself is not selfish, it's essential. I walked into the same cafe where it all began, the place where Emma humiliated me, laughing in front of everyone. The air smelled faintly of coffee and pastries, the same as before, yet everything felt different. I felt lighter, quieter inside, my chest free from the weight I had carried for months. I chose a corner table, the same one she had sat at. I looked around, taking in the familiar surroundings without the panic or dread that used to gnaw at me. For the first time, I didn't flinch at the memories. They existed, yes, but they didn't define me anymore. Lily appeared, sliding into the seat across from me with her usual bright energy. "Hey," she said softly, noticing my calm demeanor. "Hey," I replied, smiling slightly. "I heard about Emma," she said, eyes careful. She regrets everything. She's been asking people what went wrong, realizing how badly she treated you." I nodded. "I heard a little," I said quietly. "I feel sympathy for her, but nothing more. Not attachment." Lily tilted her head. "You're really different now. Stronger." "I am," I admitted. It took leaving her, walking away from everything I thought I owed her, to find out who I really am. She smiled gently. "Good. That's how it should be." I took a slow breath, remembering all the nights I spent replaying her words, the laughter, the messages, the betrayal. Back then, I felt small, worthless. Now, I feel complete. I learned that healing isn't about forgetting the pain. It's about growing past it, taking the lessons, and carrying only what serves you. Lily sipped her coffee. "Do you think you'll ever see her again?" "I don't know," I said. "And I don't want to." Closure doesn't come from confrontation. It comes from knowing you won't return to something that hurt you. That's what I have now. She nodded. "I'm proud of you. I've seen how much you've changed. You've really reclaimed yourself." "I have," I said, quietly proud. "It's strange. I thought walking away would feel like loss, like I was giving up. But it doesn't. It feels like gaining something I didn't know I'd lost: my peace, my confidence, my heart." "Sounds like freedom," Lily said. "It is," I agreed. Freedom isn't loud. It's quiet. It's knowing your worth even when someone else tried to break it. It's waking up and realizing your heart is safe again. Lily laughed softly. "I can see it in your eyes. You're whole." I smiled. I never knew I could feel this way. Without fear, without shame. I see now that choosing myself wasn't selfish. It was essential. She leaned back, sipping her coffee. "And it feels good?" "It feels right," I said. "For the first time in years, I feel in control of my life. I can breathe without looking over my shoulder, without wondering if someone will twist my love into cruelty again." Lily nodded. "You've grown so much. I'm glad you finally chose you." "I did," I said, letting the words sink in. "And that's what matters. Not revenge, not proving her wrong, not the humiliation I walked away from me. And in doing so, I saved myself." The sunlight streamed through the window, warming my face. I noticed little things: the chatter of people around me, smell of baked goods, the quiet music playing in the background. I felt connected to the world again, fully present, fully alive. I thought of Emma one last time, the way she broke me that night, the chaos she brought into my life. I forgave her, yes, but only in the sense that I released her power over me. I no longer needed her to define my happiness or my worth. Lily glanced at me. "Ready to head back?" I nodded. "Yeah, it's time." As I stood, I felt a final clarity. Walking away, choosing myself, surviving it had changed me completely. I am not who I was that night. I am stronger, wiser, and whole. I have my peace, my confidence, my life back. I glanced one last time at the cafe, at the memories etched in its walls, and whispered to myself, "She broke me that night. But choosing myself saved me." And for the first time, it felt true in every sense.